All praises to the Most High YAHAWAH. Shalom, brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here. My apology, brothers and sisters. I had to come a little early because at 10 o'clock, 9:30, I'm supposed to leave. It was unforeseen, but it happened. Please hit the like button. Yes, beloved brothers and sisters. All right. Brethren, sister, a lot's going on. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, I know I didn't have the time to properly schedule this, but we're going to do our best. Please click the like button so the others can join us. Welcome, welcome. Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters. The hand of the Most High is moving swiftly. The hand of the Most High is upon all the nations. This is no joke. This is real. Everything that's happening right now, brothers, it is real. I will tell my beloved brothers and sisters. All right. I will tell my beloved brothers and sisters and Jews and Gentiles alike to keep on praying. Keep the faith. Keep everything the way they're supposed to be. We are going to go into the book, and since I have a limited time, 9:30, 2 hours, we should be done. And excuse me. And before that, we should be done with the whole thing, brothers. We have to keep holding the line because, truthfully, we are the only people that's doing this for the Most High. Everywhere you look is either those people are worshiping another god, or they are getting intertwined between each other's, arguing about what name should we call the Most High, and who's that, and how they are right, how they are the only group that can break scriptures, or the Most High only anointed them to break down scriptures, and besides that, nobody else, and things like that. And that's how they do it. So over here, brothers, our sole focus is the Heavenly Father. And because of that, we have many people that are here that are in the front line and hold it down for the Most High. And some of us, we are dedicated forever, for life. For instance, today is our fasting day, and the sun is not down for me, though. The sun will be down at 7:52, and on like 8 p.m. 8:30. I sanctify the fast at 9 p.m. Somebody please remind me 9 p.m. so we can sanctify the fast. I haven't done any sound chairs anyway, so give me a one, brothers, if you can see me and hear me pretty well. Give me a one, though. Give me a one if you can see me and hear me well. Good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, beloved, remember. All right. Shalom. All right. Thank you. Beloved, remember, as today the fast California, I believe in the West Coast, to all people living over there, and it's the sun will go down probably another 4 or 5 hours, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like three p.m. over there or 4 p.m. Uh, well, it's gonna take some time for the sun to go down there. And brothers, what you saw over here, what you see, what's happening, it's the birth of the 40 days fasting and praying, brothers. It's the birth of that days that all the nation come within one accord, and then uh this thing is happening now, brothers. With all that being saying, and you see how the Mosai is heavily pressing upon those people with the sword, and the video that I'll upload, I'll already upload another video, should be scheduled to release for tomorrow. And probably tomorrow, brothers, I may not be able to do the prayer. I just remember that. I may not, you may not see me. If you don't see me pray alone, if you do see me, but well, the most high, had me. So, and it's just like at the last minute, and somebody say, hey, you got that appointment. I'm like, oh man, I can't cancel. I've been waiting for months. So we're going to go ahead and do this, and probably on Monday also, you may not see me, but I will be there. Now, since we are 70% done with this book, once I finish this book, I will take a break from the podcast, but you will still see me time sometime doing the prayers. But you may not see me doing the podcast. I don't know what the Most High going to do exactly, because a lot of things is happening, and He had me working on certain things that I need to complete before I'm moving on to the next step. Thank you, beloved brothers. Please click the like button so that others can see this thing, because people, they were waiting for me at 8:30 p.m., but I had to come early. So we're going to give you that. We will begin the story at 7:45 p.m., and then we will keep on moving. You know. So as long as we got one person here, we're still good. Now, brothers and sisters, we see what's going on over there in India. We see that the so-called super rich are renting private jet, and they are fleeing. You know, they are fleeing. All right, you got the people over there in India. They don't have any oxygen. Don't listen to people telling you this is not real, or it's all CGI, or the elite have some type of everything is fake. We are living inside of a computer, and the computer is controlled by alien, and the aliens, and uh, whatever, man. We really don't care. It's just, why are you doing this? Why are you taking the glory and the fame from the Most High? You put it on alien and computers. And yeah, like that guy that I was reading, he want to prove that he can communicate from the other side, and he made all the arrangements so that he can communicate with his family or to anybody else that he can communicate from the other side. Then he planned his death, and then he had other. There was a cult leader fellow. I forgot his name. If you know that guy's name, put it in the comment. So he planned his death, and then he got himself killed, and then they never heard of him. They never heard from him from the other side. He died. He thought like he could go to the other side and then communicate from the death part and stuff. They never heard from. He was one of those illusionists, conspiracy dudes. When he's one of those guys. You don't really die. It's just death is an illusion. He was trying to prove. Yeah, it's just when you're listening and watching those people, like who are you people? And those other people are people will follow. Yeah, those other people or people will take the philosophy and bring it to our people. Say, Big Levi, don't you know when you die, you don't really die. You can communicate with your loved one and stuff. I'm gonna prove it to you. Was it Udini? It was Udini. Which one was it? I believe Houdini got killed by some dude like punch him in the belly, but that guy, He wanted to prove he was one of those court leaders that he can communicate from the other side. He arranged for him for his death, and then he got murdered. Well, he got killed. He got killed and murdered. And then they were waiting for him on the other side so he can communicate with them. They never heard from him till this day. That happened somewhere around in 1900 or something like that. Yeah, so it's just like I despise all those guys. Like the chakra in the throat, you can put it in there and open portal in that universe to elevate yourselves to a higher consciousness. What the hell, man? What are you? It's the whole community, the conscious community, so all the swagger jacking. This guy says something, the other guy took it, say the same, put more on it. I don't have time for this, man. It's just way too much, man. It's just way too much, and sitting over there and watching your scumbag lying, man. Yeah, it's just like those people always just sitting over there and then try to prove to you that the universe is made out of some type of photon that the alien manipulated, and they are created humanity, and the reptilian and all the reptilian control everything. They created man and stuff, and the Anunnaki act. The Anunnaki, and then they got all this garbage from Zechariah, Zekiah snitchings and stuff like that, and they keep bringing that garbage. The Anunnaki control the world. The Anunnaki gonna come back, and then the Anunnaki going to put the New World Order, Illuminati garbage and stuff. Keep taking the credit from the Most High and put it on yourself. Now, brothers, with that being said, we're about to begin, and I want to remind everybody that I want to remind everybody that are watching. We have the beloved brother Zephaniah. He's battling some stuff. Okay. He accidentally eat one of those unclean food, and then it's making him sick. So he's throwing up. So he asked the nation to keep him in prayer. I will ask the beloved brothers to do that. Now, brethren, this is the pillars of fire. We are going to begin, and uh leather 24, leather 24, brothers. Let us keep on moving. Now, in the previous letter, brothers, the Queen Amensi, she made it clear to Sesostris that everything that he read in the letter that Mohiris sent to him is true. She made it clear that what happened. Give me a second. Give me a second, brothers. Give me a second. Da, 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 da. Hmm. 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 Okay. All right. Hmm. Okay. All right. Then. I got this. So, and the previous letter, brothers, shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, welcome. Thank you for being here. It's good to be here. So, in the previous letter, the queen made it known to Sesostris that Remeses is a Hebrew, and Remeses, aka Moses, is not her son. Now, Moses went to the 40 days initiation so he can become Pharaoh. And once he become Pharaoh, brothers, he will have the power to destroy Mohiris. He's been gone for 35 or 36 days. He only got 4 days. By the time the courier that came in to talk to the queen go back over there, it will take them 2 weeks to come back. By the time they're coming back, Ramesses and Moses will have already been king, if everything went to according to the way. Now, when the queen was crying, the whole thing was upon her. Now she defied Mohiris. She said, Mohiris, she's still the queen. Come, if you can. Come take the scepter. I will have you killed. So, and the queen said to Sesostris to come, and come in the morning to have breakfast with her so they can talk. Now, this is Sesostris, the prince of Phoenicia, writing to his mother, Queen Epithia of Phoenicia. Queen Epithia of Phoenicia. So now, This is letter 24, page 297, if you got the book. I commenced this letter. I did one written and addressed to you 2 days ago, with the probability that circumstances may render the seal of secrecy and now place upon it unnecessary. At least I shall detain both. This is one that the time it normally destroyed them. But I have the feeling that you will read it. You will read it what I write. So he told the mother, "This secret is so heavy. This secret is so dark. If anything happen, I'm going to have to burn the letters. But if I don't burn them, you're going to receive them." And then when he went from the queen, he went to sleep. Well, at least he went home to sleep. He could not, brothers. He lay on the bed, he tossed and fro, turning his head. He cannot sleep, brothers. This thing is too heavy. And he said in his head that he never did hate Ramesses. He never did hate the Hebrew people. He had no of that prejudice in his heart. In fact, he felt compassion and love towards them. He said, now that the queen confining him, the heavy secret that Remeses Moses is not an Egyptian, he's a Hebrew slave, he said he will never ever regard Moses as something else. He will always lift him up as the same way it is. He said the virtue of Remeses, the way he talked, his wisdom is still the same. He said he will never do anything to offend Moses, but he will never tell him the secret. And he said, and Moses, he doesn't see a prince. He doesn't see a race. He saw the man that the Moses is. He saw the man. He saw the person. He saw the wisdom, the true characteristic of this person, brothers. He doesn't see the facade. He doesn't see the titles, but he see the true man. He see the truth. And now he woke up in the morning. He didn't sleep though, brothers. He passed the whole night talking. What the hell? What happened? How is this happening? How is this possible? So he woke up in the morning and then he went to see the queen to have dinner with her, while breakfast with her, so they can talk. And then he went over there. He sit with the queen, and Queen Amensis is there. The pages there pouring stuff and watching and stuff like that. And then they talk about they talk about slowly but shortly. They talk about what Remeses is going. So the queen said he has to go under the 40 days initiation, and today's day 34th or 35th, if I'm not mistaken. And then he said it's a very intense initiation. It's a very important things. A lot of things will reveal to your brothers, sisters. These things still going on. You see, before you become president of the quote unquote our land or the United States here, there are certain things you have to go under, certain initiation you have to go. When I say initiation, brothers, I'm not saying Illuminati or something dark and stuff. There are certain secrets they have to tell you. For instance, the president of the United States, each president will come, they will give you the banana code. For those of you who catch my drift, anybody see what I'm saying here? There's that special code they're going to give you just in case you, the red button code. Now, each president, it's not, the code doesn't stay the same. Okay. If there is like a battle going on and then there's no way out, and then you order that strike, they have to put this code. So each president that came in, brothers, they changed the code. There are certain things that you have to know. For instance, to us, when we go to Washington, D.C., it's just Washington, D.C. It's just a monumental place. There's so many monuments in there. But there are some certain secrets. The president know things that are under Washington, D.C., just as now we know for a fact there's a volcano in the city of Jackson, Mississippi, under the Coliseum. That's a volcano that's there. 99.99% of people that live in Memphis don't know this. Those are secret things they told those people, and you can draw energy from this volcano. This volcano that is in Jackson, Mississippi, has the same capability, the same strength as a black hole. This the same force. This volcano has the same strength. That it can pull satellite from out of state and then bring them to the earth. There are certain places around, brothers, that have certain secrets only those people know, and only the president, when you become president or chief of the country, they will let you know. Certain things they would say. For instance, one of the guy, oh man, anyway, I was talking to one of the quote unquote old men druid back then home, and he said, to become the president of Haiti, you need to know the true history of what happened. What is this land? And one of the things that he revealed, well, quote unquote, not revealed to me, but he revealed on what he was saying. He said the true Haitian flag, it was red and black, and in the middle of it, there's a menorah. If so, you know, one of you, if some of you are familiar with this word, a menorah, quote unquote, a Jewish, menorah. It's just like the lamp, the menorah in the line of Judah. That's the original flag. Okay, so and they were calling themselves the tribe of Judah because when they had the whole revolution, the 12 tribe were there. The so-called Black American came in, all the tribe around the world, they came in, they know who they are, brothers. Till this day, those people truly know. Yeah, they know who they are. Did you know the slaves still know when they were in slavery? The elders still know. When you all start reading this, the Levites never did forget who they were. Till slavery, we still had our people. They still have the knowledge of all where all the tribe at, where the land at, and how to do things. But it's a very, very secret. It's a only secret that they only tell some high up dudes. For instance, and when he told me another secret, he said there is one spot in the island that has a wealth, that has, well, not a wealth, that has like a quote unquote a treasure there. It's worth more than anything on this earth. What you're calling the cave of wonders, it's a real place. Remember that movie Aladdin? Remember that when they sent Aladdin or Al, with the genie, that cartoon, he went inside of that cave and there's so much gold, and he took one of those lamp, he wobbled, the genie came out of there. He said, this is no myth. There is a cave of wonders like that. Certain things they only tell those high up. That is why, brothers, the so-called elite or Illuminati, they are very careful with the children of the Most High. If they could have destroyed you, they would have destroyed you a long time ago because they can't. They know they're not supposed to. They will destroy as much as they can, but they cannot destroy all of you. They know certain one of us to touch and certain one of us they cannot touch. They receive orders, brothers. We told you, those people go to places and they say they tell them, hurt everybody else except for those few. And they have to do that. They can't do anything on their own. Did you know the priesthood of Mahan? They have like their own secret. You don't know what's in the Vatican, man. People go to the Vatican to see the Sistine Chapel, garbages and stuff, monument and statues. It's not what they have in there. Yeah, that place, Haiti is a very holy land. The very word Haiti, it's Haiti mean YAHAWAH, Father is with us. And it's not an island. The island is what survived or what this place was and is. This place is actually a giant freaking continent. For those of you who went to this before, and most of this continent is all the way connected all the way to Africa and Europe and stuff, but it's underwater. Once the Heavenly Father came in and then say the word, and then all the land that is under the water will pop up, all the land of the Pacific Ocean, they will connect it, and then he will drop Zion from the heaven, from the Zion above and Zion below, and connect them. Boom. Those are the things that they told people. So that's what Remeses Moses is going under. Now, that's the queen telling him this, because the queen actually go under the same stuff to know the secret. Now, when the queen was telling him this, so he was in Remeses stuff were over there by him. So he took one of the papyrus that Remeses was writing, and he looked at the papyrus. He saw the story of the Prince of Uz. Anybody can tell us who this Prince of Uz is? The story of the Prince of Uz. Now, you know for a fact now he wrote this one, the story of the Prince of Uz. You know, the Prince of Uz. Thank you, beloved sister Brandy. Job, brother Job. Now, the people that when they read the stuff and say Job, oh, I'm an Edomite and stuff. No, he's an Edomite resident. He was the land of the Edom. The land of Uz was where the Edomites were. He's not an Edomite. He's a Melchizedek, well, a Shemite. He said it with his own mouth. He's from the family of Melchizedek. For those of you who know Melchizedek is Shem, okay, grandson of Melchizedek. Yeah, Job was grandson of Melchizedek. Remember, Melchizedek he was like, how old was Melchizedek when he died? Somewhere around like 800 years, 800 to 700 years. Shem was like 700 and something years. So he got like sons, kids. He got the whole nation right out of the same thing go for Ham and Japheth. So Moses, Ramesses started to writing the life of Job, the story of Job. Moses began it, but he began the life of Job because of the things that Job was telling him. He didn't begin it like to. He didn't write it from like I would say from a primary source. He wrote it. He was listening to the story, but Job weren't talking to him face to face. He was just listening, and this is what he wrote. And then he stopped where the devil, quote unquote, in this book here, they referred to the devil as Typhon. Typhon is the name of Satan. When Satan came in and tempted Job, remember they don't in the Bible, brothers, they say very little about Satan. They say very little. The only time I believe you see Satan came in was when with Job, and then when he came in tempt YAHAWAH, and then that's it. That's the only two time I can recall they say anything about Satan. That's the only thing, and they never referred to him as Satan. If quote unquote, brothers, our Father name is I am what I am, the great I am, loving kindness, Ahayashah, or YAHAWAH, or YAHAWAH. Satan must have a name too. But you really can't find Satan name, but some people say it's Lucifer, some say Beelzebub, some say Baal, and stuff like that. But Satan is very tricky. All of those names, like Baal, mean the Lord. Baal is not a god, it's just a title. Satan, his job is to trick you to think like he's the Messiah. Some say Satan name is Yahweh. Some say Satan name is very close, because what he's doing, brothers, he's putting. Well, some say his name is Jesus Christ, says Aribosia. Some say he says Aribosia. It's a very tricky man. That's what he does. He tricked you. He always come over there. Satan, he has many names. That's why you can never put a name on those beings, because they changing. They changing. That's why there's Enoch, and there's another Enoch. There's Enoch of Seth and an Enoch of Cain. There's a Methuselah. I think there's two Methuselah. Is that what that is? Methuselah, Seth, or they have that all the time. There's two Noah. There's a Noah of Seth, Seth, and a Noah of Cain. They do that all the time. Methuselah. It's very, very. You gotta be very, very careful which one they are talking about. They copy each other, especially Cain. That's what the priest of Mahan does. They swagger jack, they copy things and put themselves there. So while Remeses stopped where he was telling the story of Job, where Satan came and tempted him, and then when he was reading the story, boom, the door opened. And then when he lifted up his eyes, when Sesostris lifted up his eyes, and he see Remeses standing there. Excuse me. When he see Remeses, he jumped with the joy, said, "Yo, Moses, my dog, what's up? What's going on?" And then he run toward Moses, and then Moses just standing there looking at him. And he said, and he looked at Moses, he about to give Moses a hug, and Moses said, "Will thou, O Prince of Tyre, embrace a Hebrew?" And he like, "Oh my God, you know. Oh man, yo, Remeses, I'm sorry, man. You know about this, man." He said, I know all of it." And he started to cry, and then he hugged him. He was crying on his shoulders. They were crying. He was crying. Yeah, he knew, brother. He knew. He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "What happened?" And he said, "I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to do." And they were, you know, they were crying. You know, he was crying, and he said, "Yes, Sesostris, I have heard all of it. Thou knowest the secret also." He said, "Sesostris, I heard everything." And he said, "You know the secret too?" And also my I'm sorry, I should have said the queen. Does the queen know? "I'm sorry, Sesostris, I have no other mother than her. I would never ever love anybody but her. But now that I know I'm a slave, I'm not who I am. I'm sorry." He was crying and crying. Both of them were crying. He said, "That's okay. That's okay, man. Listen, man. You're not a slave, man. Your forefathers came from the prince of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. To me, you are a king." And Moses smiled. He said, "Yeah, thank you for your kindness, man." And he said, "Listen, man, we got to find something. This can't be true." He said, "It is true, Sesostris. It is true. It is true." And then he said, "Please don't call me a prince, man. I'm not a prince. I'm not." And he said, what happened? How did you, what happened? What's going on? How did you find out about this?" Brothers, this story, this is deep. He said, "I'm calm now, but such this, I have passed through." Moses said, "But brother, I have went to hell. My soul literally went to hell. I'm back now." And then Sesostris saying, "Go put the table, arrange the table." Sit down, man. Let's talk." And they were crying. He said, "Sesostris, my friend, I need to describe to you, oh my friend, the nature of the rites and the ceremony. I need to tell you what went down there when I went doing that is initiation. What happened to me, brother? Please sit down. Let me tell you. I've been in contact with for 5 and 30 days. So he's been going through this thing for 35 days. Let it be enough to curiosity to know that beneath all the splendor of our polytheism is hidden the mystery known the sons of the Lord of heaven of one God. This truth is guarded by the mystics as a mystery, not as a doctrine, and is no value of them nor the world. It is as the sun were forever shrouded in impenetrable clouds. I have learned it only darkly. He said, "Listen, Sesostris, they are Hish. Those people are not telling us. There are some secrets, some deep Hish you won't believe, Sesostris, what I went through. The amount of things that I learned." And he started crying. He said, "I'm so sorry. I have learned it only darkly." He said, "I just learned it, but I learned it darkly. I learned it on the negative side. But this is not my purpose now, my friend. Perhaps at another time we will discuss all these things. I have passed my decreed days and night at all the shrines which the laws of the kings direct when I lasted night. I was born across the line, across the Nile by a company of the mystics who left me at the entrance of the avenue leading to the Sphinx that is before Cheops and Kypris. There are 12 other ecclesiastical mystics took me in charge. We marched together, 6 on each side of me, in profound silence, till on passing the line facing the Sphinx, and their leader cried, "Let the king be as a lion in the strength and mystery." The rest answer and with one voice, "And may his enemy be as lambs beneath his paws." So the ceremony started. There are 12 mysterious men that came in to get Moses in the middle of the night. Remember, this night, when it's midnight, nobody's allowed to go outside. The whole city was empty, was dark. They extinguished all light except for the light of the moon. And 12 men that he cannot see their faces, 12 mystics came in. They took him and they said, "Follow me." And he's following them. 6 on his right, 6 on his left. And then they are walking. They are walking towards the Sphinx. And when they get in the middle by the lion-faced Sphinx, one of them said, let the king be as a lion. And there's a bunch of voice that says, "And may his enemy be as lambs beneath his paw." At the small temple between the feet of the Sphinx, 3 priests stood, one of whom sprinkled my head with sacred water, the second with the little finger, and that had been dipped in the blood of a cock, or no rooster, which had sacrificed, touched my forehead, and the third waved incense before me, while from with come a low, plaintive chant of voice of instrument, invoking the gods of an hymn on my behalf. The whole scene was solemn and impressive. So when he get to the temple at the feet of the Sphinx, and then one of the priests came in wearing one of those giant robe and one of those cloak. They're all wearing cloak. You can see their faces. So this priest came in and took water of the Nile and sprinkled over him. And then he dipped his finger in the blood of a rooster, and then he tapped it in his pineal gland. And then while he was doing this, there were a group of people chanting and humming, chanting and humming. And then the whole thing was beautiful and stuff like that. So, and then they tell him, "Come, follow him." I was then conducted to the pylon of the great temple before the pyramids. As I passed beneath the gate, the 12 priests left me, and 24 others dressed in white robes and bearing torches took me in charge and conduct me at a slow march across the great quadrangle, leading me to a dark portal which descend as I was told to the base of the pyramid down the hall of the mysteries of the earth. When they were coming with him, and then the 12 stopped and 24 more came in. And then they took him. They were wearing white cloak, white robes with hoodie over their face. And then they took him. And then they took him darkly. They were walking very slow, step by step, and synchronization. They all were doing the same thing. He was in the middle, and then they were walking to him, and then they opened a portal, a door inside under the pyramid, and they're going down into a stairs. They're going under the pyramid, deep under there. Is this of the magician? I asked, gratifying to see that Ramesses could for a moment forget so far that his great souls to enter the deals of stuff. So Sisoshes asked him, "So are those the magician?" He said, "Yes." The place where the sorcerers and soothsayers hold their mystic and fearful rites. For ages, the subterranean temple under the earth between the two pyramids, but no part of the pyramidal structure itself has been their places of solemn assembly. And to this region I descend, and by only two men who received me at the head of the steel stone. So now when the 24 men are going with him, they withdraw. Now two men came in and took him. And Sesosha said, wait, were those the magicians? Say, yes, those were the magicians, the soothsayer. And the place that they are bringing me, that's where they do all the magical rites and all that garbage and stuff going on. That's where they're doing it. So they went deep under the pyramid. Now, when they get by the two stone, and two men took him, and then they are going a little bit further. Again, brothers and sisters, for those of you who study other books, there are certain things you see there. You cannot say what it is. And Moses told him, there are certain things I cannot tell you what I can't say it, because they made you swear. Like, remember when we were telling the story about those dudes, how they get the money? And they will go over there, they will open the portal, and then they will travel to the other side, and they will meet entities that tell them, hey, what you see. And when they go there, brothers, they see other people. The people that you're seeing, like, oh, this guy's dead, this celebrity is dead, this stuff. They saw those people alive down there in a horrible position. That's why certain dreams you have them, certain things you cannot remember because you're not supposed to remember it. He told Sesosha, my friend, there are certain things I saw down there. I can't tell you. But I may not describe more particularly the progress of my mysterious journey through the subterranean passage and stuff. He said the inside is like a catacombs. It's like a labyrinth catacombs. Brothers, you know what's in the catacombs? He said it's a whole labyrinth and stuff. After traversing vast, gloomy corridors of pillars hewn from solid rock and succession of chambers dedicated to mysteries, I was ushered by the sound of awful music from an unseen source into a great central temple so large that the torches borne by my guides could not penetrate its outer blackness. This is page 301. So they get, when he was getting inside of a temple under the pyramid that is so big, when he get in there, he heard a sound of a big music, like a scary music. Brothers, you're going to see, once you get there, you're going to say, wait, I know what happened to this guy. He heard a sound, dun, dun, and then when he got there, and then he looked around, the place that he was is so dark that the torch that the guide had in his hand could not even fully illuminate the length. That's how big the place is. In the center of this solemn hall stood an altar of black marble, okay, a monolith, like in the movie the 2001 Odyssey, a menhir, a black marble, a black menhir stand there. We approached it when suddenly from it saw aloft a bright flame which illuminated the temple to its remote obscurity with a light that, like the moon when it's full, revealing in the height above a firmament with 1,000 stars reflecting the lights. So when he was working towards the black monolith, and all of a sudden a giant fire came out of that light, out of that monolith, that black menhir. Boom! And then the entire temple become illuminated. And then when he lifted up his eye, he saw the platform, the roof, the ceiling of the temple. He saw thousands of stars. He saw the whole universe, all the planets, and align all the stuff for the moon, all the constellation in it. The whole temple is beautiful. The marble under his feet is ivory. Everything, that temple is beautiful, shining. I had already, my ancestors, passed through such varied and surprising scene in the progress of my initiation that I was not surprised at this, for the arts of the priestly magicians seems to embrace a knowledge of all the secret alchemy. Now listen this, brothers. All the secrets of alchemy, of nature, and they possess wisdom and skill to control her wonderful powers. So he said this scene didn't really shock him, because he went to something like that before, because the priests, the magicians, they know certain secrets of alchemy. Okay? He said it was a splendid thing. While this brilliant flame burned from a brazen vase which stood above the altar of possession, a figure entered by a distant door and slowly made the circuit of the massive corridor. I perceived at once that they were attired symbolically, representing the powers of nature, and were preceded by 5 stately and imposing forms standing for fire, water, air, and earth, air, and the Nile. He said while the fire was burning, and then he perceived, he saw somebody move in the corner. And then when he looked, that person were wearing some symbols, and 5 other people following them. They were wearing some symbols, or each of those symbols are for the earth, water, fire, and the night. 5 elements. Symbols which were worn upon their heads and carry in their hands. Between these came 7 persons, each crowned with the stars, the whole representation of the 7 stars, Aldebaran, and stuff like that. So everybody, every person that came in, brothers, they're representing the stars, the moon, the sun, the stars of Aldebaran, Orion, the zodiac, all of that. So all of those guys, they got symbols on their forehead, and then they stand. All each of those individual, they have a crystal cup, like a crystal cup. Everybody have a crystal cup in their hand. The imposing and magnificent representation and illustration of this march of time through the heavens, with all the movement and the heavenly orbs, presented a spectacle of splendor unsurpassing by human display. Solemn as the march of the stars themselves, this procession of constellation moved once around the grand circuit of the temple. So of the temple, and then 5 leaders advanced towards the altar, by which I stood alone, deserted by those who led me hither. Every one of these symbolic person in succession bent the knee before me, in token that the powers of the earth, air, and water, and stuff like that, were submissive to my will. Ah, says Sostris, how little they suspected, when paying me this customary homage, that I was a mere Hebrew slave who could make use of the air, water, and earth, and stuff like that of the Nile, only by the permission by the Egyptian master. So he said when he got there, all those guys, all those people that were in there, they dress as the constellation, and they move like the entire universe move. They move in synchronization, and 5 of them, earth, water, fire, earth, water, fire, air, and the Nile, came in, and they bow before him. That's a representation that he have all those 5 elements in his hand. He can control them. And he said, Sesostris, little did they know how a Hebrew have the power to control those things. So those guys, they withdraw. Other striking ceremonies passed, therefore, thereafter. And by, I was left alone beside the altar, the flame of which was my duty to feed with the naphtha until morning. This being the first vigil of the last 5 nights. So he spent 5 nights down there, brothers. Ceremony after ceremonies, with no food, no water. I was not, however, long left alone. 7 magicians and their gorgeous apparel come from a door that seems to be an outlet from beneath the second pyramid, and approached me chanting a war song. So 7 dudes came in, and they were chanting a war song. So Moses was like, standing there and watching them. Each bore a piece of warrior armor. So each of them have armor they bought. Okay. One of them has the helmet. One of them has the what we call, well, they call them cuirasses, but we call it The armor. It's like body. What's the name for this thing when you shoot the bulletproof vest. The other one bought the bulletproof vest, one bought the sword, one bought the spears, and one bought a shield. As they pass me, they present, and I receive from each of them of the armor and invested of myself. So he took it from them, and then he put upon himself and put the helmet. He took the spear and the shield, and then he dressed like a soldier. I was told by the leader to be strong and fight valiantly. He said, "Be strong, Moses, and you're going to fight like your life depend on it. Fight valiantly." I was told by the leader of the Mongolians that to fight valiantly, for I should be assailed by power of evil. They then left me, and again I was alone, yet on my guard, feeding the flame till it burned high. I sought to penetrate the gloom of that least, expecting the behold a lion led into the temple to me to combat with, that I might prove my right of the sword of the Pharaoh which I held in my grasp. So all those guys, they left, and they left him alone. And then he was left alone. He was feeding the fire. He was putting the things on the fire so the light could, go up, so he could see and what he was going to fight. So now he took his the shield, the sword, and then he said, like, he is expecting some dude came in, like some lion came in, some forces came in, so he can fight it and prove himself, so he can be Pharaoh of Egypt. I know not, says Sarstris, who or what would have been my assailant. So he's on his guard. He's waiting for somebody to attack him. If due time I had elapsed for his coming, but I suddenly heard a step behind me, and behold, instead of a fierce beast or a warrior, a single magician, tall and commanding, who bore in one hand merely the sacred crux of emblem of our life, and on the other hand, with its black wand tipped with emerald. I challenged him. I was directed to do so by my instructor, and demand where he came for good or evil, with war or peace in my heart. So while Moses is standing there in guard, and then he's watching in front, he heard somebody behind me, and he turned around, and then there was one magician standing there right behind him, with the quote unquote what they call the ankh of whatever in his hand. And then Moses said, "Who are you, friend or foe?" And he said, "Follow me." And then Moses behaved, because they told him, as a prince, your first rule is to behave, is to obey. So he obeyed. And then he retract his arm, and then he's following this single magician. And they went into a door, and then he went inside of a room. He went inside of a room. The stone door closed behind me, and I was conducted through a beautiful chamber adorned with marbles and sparkling with precious stones that seems to shine by a light of their own. And I could discover no source of reflection, though doubtless, however, that was in some part of that concealed by the part of ingenious and wise magician. So they brought him to a room. In this room, brothers, the wall is covering with precious stones and diamonds and stuff. They are illuminating, and he could not see a reflection, because it's a concealed room. The room is beautiful. There was an inner chamber or adytum entirely encased with panels of black marble, polished like a mirror. I was conducted into this room and commanded by a voice unknown and from an invisible person to seat myself upon a stone chair in the center of the floor. I obey, for princes during their initiation are taught constantly that he who would not know how to command must learn how to obey. So they tell him to sit in this black chair, and then that black chair that made out of black marble. So he went there. They said, "Sit down." He obeyed, and he sit down. Indeed, says Sostris, the whole routine of the ceremonies, though sometimes vain and frivolous. He say, man, why I have to go to all those booths? Just give me what I need to do. Say, they say, although, but that thing is so extravagant, but it is calculated to impress him. Impress upon the heart of the prince the wisest lessons of self-governing. Okay, every temptation is offered to him, so he's giving him the lesson and stuff. He said this is teaching him about like impression and hunger, because he's strafing himself. He spent like 3 days on the other temple with no food, no water. So he was prepared for this. 3 nights and days I fasted in the temple of Ptah, that I might pity the hungry. 2 days I suffered thirst, that I might feel for the thirst. 6 hours I toiled with burdens, that I might know how my poorest subjects toil. 1 hour I was a servant, another prisoner, for a third cupbearer of the high priest. So before you become a prince, so they have to make you go to all those trials, so you would know how to treat your subject. Before you become the manager, you have to be an employee. That is why all those scumbags that become president, they never had a job in their life. They do a horrible job because they don't know how to treat people. They just treat them beneath them. Before you become a king, you have to know every single job. You have to do them. He was a cupbearer for 6 hours, so he will feel like how it is to be a cupbearer, how to treat people. He do heavy toil burden, so he would know how to treat his subject. All right. When I had taken my seat in this chamber of black marble, which was dimly lighted by a misty radiance before me, I saw that I was alone. Now, O seamstress, came my trial. There you go, brothers. There you go. He said the moment he sit down in this black marble chair like a throne, the trial began. And this is the trial. Now, O seamstress, came my trial, such one as no prince to the house of Pharaoh ever passed through. It is said that Ositosin, when he was brought to this chamber, had he revealed to him that he was the son of the god Hercules, but to me was revealed, alas, that knowest what shall hear how. He said, in this chamber and this chair, when Ositosin, the former Pharaoh, like 3 dynasty or 2-3 generation ago, he said when he sit there, they revealed to him he was the son of the god Hercules, and that thing revealed to him, you already know. Remeses Moses, say a deep voice, stern voice formed in the obscurity, seems to me at the shrine. Thou art wise, and virtuous, and strong of heart. Gird thyself courage, and hear what is to be revealed to thee. Though thou art not the son of Amensi, queen of Egypt, as thou believest, she was never a mother. So when he sit on this chair and he hear the big voice echoing and say, Remeses, Moses, you are brave. Know for a fact, you need strength. What we're going to reveal to you here, you're going to be strong. You're going to need to be strong. You are not the son of the queen Amensi like you believe it. Then Moses stood up and said, who the say this? Show yourself. And the voice said, shut the hell up, sit down. And he sit down. He was pissed off. It is false, thou wicked magician, I cried. Art thou then the foe I am supposed to meet and destroy? Silence, young man, cried another voice with a tone of power. What the mysterious oracle orders is true. Thou art not the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Thou art not the title of throne of Egypt. Who am I then? I cried, impressed and awe, yet full of anger and what? So the voice tell him, shut the hell up. Another voice says, sit down. What that thing tell you is true. You are not the son of Amensi the queen. And Moses said, well, then if I'm not, who the hell am I? Thou art the son of a Hebrew mother and a Hebrew father, said the voice. I advanced sword in hand to meet these, and visible person believed that the insult was but another series of tests, that this is in particular of my patience and temper, for all such add Remeses to me bitterly, was greater insult could have been put upon a prince of Egypt than this. When I came forward, I saw the wall of it were open before me, and I beheld the Nile. Brothers, let me take it from here. Let me take it from here. When Moses heard the voice, said, you are the son of a Hebrew woman and a Hebrew man. And then Moses jumped out of the chair, and with his sword and then his shield, and he like, yo, this is the guy. This is an insult to trigger me to fight them. So he thought he was going to fight. And then when he jumped, he's running towards the darkness to attack this dude. And then the portal opened, and he get right inside of the portal. And then he find himself standing in front of, suspended in the Nile. When he saw himself suspended in the Nile, and he saw a man and a woman. And then he looked at the women, and then they walk, and he just followed them. He just levitate and then followed them. And then the men and the women went inside the house, and they were crying. And there was a nurse that came in, another woman that came in. He said, listen, you have to do this right now, because there is the soldiers are coming. They're going to kill your children. And he's like, he's standing there. He looked, and he saw they were holding a little baby. And then he's like, hey, 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 hey. He tried to talk to them, but they could not hear them. And then he pulled his sword, and then he hit them with his shield. He could not they could not see him, but he could see them. So the mother was crying, and then the Egyptian woman said, they're going to come in the morning. You have to flee. You have to do something. So the father said, I know something to do. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob would protect us. And then the father took, and he went somewhere. He went to another place. And then the image changing in front of Remeses. And he saw, when he went to that place, he saw they are making some type of thing, they are constructing some type of a small little boat. And then when he saw that, and then inside of the little boats, they put some type of polished things. And then the guy said he has to be, the water cannot penetrate this. And then the mother is there crying and pleading with him. And then when he turned around, he saw a little girl, a little 12-year-old girl sitting there and crying. And then when he looked on the bed, he saw a little boy, 3 years old, sleeping. He didn't know anything. So he cried. He said, hey, hey. They could not hear him. He saw the father took the little boat, and then he stuffed it with cushion. And then they put little baby in there. And then the mother was crying. The mother cried. And then he said, you fool, you're going to kill my son. He said, if we don't do this, this is not, it's not going to work. And then he heard a voice, a screaming, and then he turned around. There's another image that appeared in front of him, and then he just flew to another scene. He saw the Egyptians are murdering and strangling baby, and crack their neck and strangling them, and then dropped them in the Nile and drowned them in the bucket. And then he tried to fight them, and then he run toward them. He tried to kill them with his sword, but the sword, he cannot hit them. It's like they were ghosts. And then he fight with all his strength. And then he was crying. He could not see this. He could not believe this. And he heard again the voice of the man speak. And then he turned around. He right in front of them. And they put the little baby inside of this little ark, this little boat. And then they wrap him in a piece of cloth. And then they put him in there. And then they cover it. And then they heard the herd, like the soldiers are killing people, men are fighting, the whole city was besieged. They are killing people, they are killing the little kids, they are cutting their heads off and throw them in the Nile, rip them out of the mother's bosom and throw them in the Nile. And then he was screaming and tell them to stop this. He ordered them, he said, I'm Ramesses, Moses, stop this. They could not hear him. So he followed the men and the women, and then they went down there in the Nile, but they were so quiet. They didn't want to make any noise so they would be spotted. And then the little baby start crying. So the mother took the little baby and put her breast and start breastfeeding him. And he looked at that little baby. He like, who is this baby? The baby looks strange. And then the mother took the baby and closed the little ark, the little boat thing, and then they went inside of the ravine and they get to the Nile. And then the father to say, woman, give me the child. He said, I'm not, you throw me in the water with him. I'm not gonna let him go. Throw me in the water. Say, this is the only way the God of Abraham and Isaac will find him. So in the middle of the night, boom, the image changed in front of him, and he saw that little boy that was sleeping, that was 3 years old, wake up, and then he was looking for his mommy. The house was alone, and he heard like people are knocking on doors and then killing people, so he ran away. And then when he ran away, and then he saw that his mom put his little brother inside a little boat and closed the boat and then kiss it and then push it in the Nile. And then he was like, what the hell, what's going on? And then he cried, he run, he met an old man. This old man was a priest. And the old man looked at him and said, you are a Hebrew boy. You are a little Hebrew boy. And the old man had pity upon him. The old Egyptian priest took him as it was his own son. And the little boy went with the Egyptian priest, and then he go hide it so they won't kill him, because they were killing kids from newborn to 3 years old and under. So now the image changed in front of him, and he saw, the mother said to the sister, he said, listen, run, go make sure that he doesn't perish. And then he saw the Nile, the wave of the Nile is pushing the baby is crying inside, the whole thing, and then he's flying in the air following the ark. And then when he beheld, he saw the castle, he saw where the king houses, and he saw a bunch of kids are playing, young women, virgins, 16, 14, 15-year-old kids are coming. And then when he saw young Amensi, the princess, his mother, and she was grieving and stuff. And then when she came in, she saw something floating in the water. And then she went to the water. She said, what is this over there? And she called one of her maid. He said, go get that thing for me over there. And then when he said, Nelia, go get that. So Nelia or the other one, Nelia went, or Tibia, they get it. And then when they open it, there was the beautiful little baby in there. And then when she looked at the little baby like cry, and the little baby presses her hand, and her heart melted. And she took the little baby, and she said, wow, this is the God of the Nile. I was praying. My husband died. I cannot have any kids. The God of the Nile sent me this beautiful baby. And then all the people that was there, which was 3 people, but there's that 12-year-old girl. He saw that little 12-year-old girl standing afar watching. And then he said, I'm going to take this kid. I'm going to raise it for my son, because he's from the God. The God gave me this. And the wind blew, and the mantle come off the little baby, and then he saw this baby was circumcised. And he said, oh my God, this is one of the Hebrew little children. They must have thrown him away, so he would have died, but I'm going to keep it. And then he looked at the 2 other women. He told them, if any one of you told this story, I will have you silenced. You're going to take this to your grave. And he paid them, and he said, keep silence. And then they say, yes, we'll keep silence, but what about her? You say, who? And then when they turn around, they saw Miriam, a little girl, standing there watching. And then she said, Miriam run to them and said, why don't you go ahead? What if I call a nurse, one of the Hebrew nurse, to go ahead and feed it? And then the the queen said, good idea, go get a nurse. So Miriam run fast, brother. Miriam won like the flash all the way to her house, and then find her mom sitting on the floor crying. And she was like, she has a deep belly pain, because when she came back, Aaron was missing. So she was crying and holding a pain on her belly. And then the little girl called me and said, Mom, quick, let's go. They got Moses. He said, Wood. He said, they got my brother. The princess has her. And he sent for a maid to breastfeeding him. Quick, let's come. Don't delay so they won't choose another. And the mother jumped with joy. And then they go over there. And then when they're about to get in, and then the little girl said, Moses is seeing all that, brothers. He's walking, running with them. He saw all that. And then the mother, the little girl said, don't cry. Don't make anything that you look like you're the mother. Wipe your tears. Don't do anything. Don't cry. Don't do anything. And then she put a veil over her face. And then she came in. And then Miriam said, this is the Hebrew women. And then when the Queen Amensi, holding the little baby, said, okay, Hebrew women, how much will you feed? I will pay you wages, or daily wages, to breastfeeding this kid until he is 3 years old, and then bring it to me. And then he said, he's the baby. When the mother was about to take the baby, her hand was shaking. And then she said, why are you shaking? You look very nervous. Just be good to the kid. And then the tears was coming out of her eyes. She didn't want the queen to see she was crying. And then she took the baby, and then she slowly turned around, and she was crying. The tears was dropping on the baby. And then the mother said, listen, this is between you, me, and nobody else. I will see him every day. Once he's 3 years old, you're going to give it to me. You understand that? And she said, yes. And she walked with the little baby, and then she went into the garden and breastfeeding it. And then now, at 3 years old, Moses saw that little 3 years old baby go up to be 3 years old. And then when that baby is 3 years old, the queen come and get it. And then the queen took that baby. He put that baby to school. That baby grow up and become a little boy, 10 years old. He went to all the school. Everything that Moses was doing, he saw this kid. And this kid grow up. He was in the army. He was everything, until he saw all the event that passed in his entire life, until the day he get inside the pyramid, and then boom, the vision stopped. And then he's inside of the temple. And then he dropped the sword, and he dropped the shield, and then he got in his hand, he started wailing, crying. And then the voice said, knowing what you know now, no. Will you, Remeses Moses, accept being the king of Egypt? He's still crying, wailing. He could not believe it. Will you, Remeses Moses, be the king? And then he just left, and then he run out of the temple. He went from all the way up from the pyramid all the way home, brothers, crying. He know the truth. And then when he came into the door, and then he saw Sesostris was reading the book of Job. And then when Sesostris came in, he was about to give him a hug. And he said, will thou embrace a Hebrew, my prince? And he said, you know? Say, yeah, I knew. Give me a second, brothers. We're not done yet. We're not done yet, brothers. We're not done yet. Oh, apparently. My apology, brothers. I even went further. All right, then. We're done here. This letter is done. I didn't read the whole thing, brothers. This letter done. Another letter, we could take it. Let me see. I don't have the time. I don't want my mother call. Let me see if we could take this letter. Okay. Let me see. Oh, no. We have to take this tomorrow. We have to take this tomorrow. All right. Letter 25. Letter 25 for tomorrow. Okay. My apology. I went too fast. Yeah. Brothers, sisters, that's what happened. The whole thing, from the beginning, it was shown to Moses. Give me a second. The hell is this? Oh, that's a software thing. That's my printer. All right. The whole thing revealed to him. He saw the whole thing, brothers, from day 1 to day 2. Next step, how is he going to confront his mother about it, the queen? The queen is in the next one. Excuse me. The queen is in the next one. That is the truth. And he said, Princess Ostrich, there is no way for me. I can't be the king because I'm not a king. I'm not a prince. I'm not an Egyptian. I'm a Hebrew slave. He could not do it, brothers. Now, brethren, understand this, brothers. Understand what's going on here. This is all of the Mosai, brothers. Yes, the Mosai is grand. You see how the Mosai put all the chests and stuff. And you will understand in the next letter, because I could have gone into it, but I could go into this book in just like right now. But I have to go pick up my beloved mother and stuff, and she'll call me like at 9:30 or whatever. But brothers, at 9, somebody remind me to sanctify the fast, and then I might leave so I can go ahead and get the stuff. Thank you, beloved sister Davida Braxton. He will never get there. Remember this, brothers. Remember when Moses went into the temple and they called one of their gods. You see, brothers, the Most High, man, these men, the Most High showed you those people have no power. They brought their god, the bull, Apis. Okay? Moses had a little cake like the bull loved. So he offered the cake to the bull. So the bull came in and sniffed it. The bull loved it and eat the cake, and everybody was like, "Oh, hey, that's a good shine. That is good. That is good." And then and the priest came in and say, "Oh, great, powerful, peace and stuff. Will Ramesses be far and stuff and all great, and then give prosperity and stuff?" And then his answer is, when he go out there, the first thing he hear is the answer. The moment he stepped out of there, the same scumbag that was selling the images of God or little statues, that bastard opened his mouth and said, "He will never get there." And then Sesostris said, Moses standing around was like, "What?" And then Sesostris looked at Moses and say, "Do you heard that?" I say, "Yeah, I heard this." I say, "Well, if it is what it is, man, let fate decide." The prophecy come true. That's all the Most High. It's not like the God, the bull actually have power, brothers. You know, this is of the Most High. And you will understand, brothers, at the end of the book, I just finished it yesterday. Well, this morning. At the end of the book, you will understand and know why the Most High performed those miracles, those 10 miracles, brothers. Moses give details, brothers, beautiful details, and why the Most High does this. And now I will stop complaining about people saying the elite are doing this. I will stop complaining about stuff like that. Well, I don't know. I may never stop complaining. Now I understand. I'm like, there you go. This is why those people all say the elite. This is why. This is why the Most High allowed this fellow called Bill Gates to quote unquote manufacture some man-made mosquitoes. The Most High let them tap into certain things, and they think like, whoa, yeah, you know, I got the power now. I can do whatever I want. I understand that. I'm like, oh, that's why the Messiah did this. That's what the Messiah did. I understand this. I understand it. Yeah. So yeah, no, I will never stop complaining about this. I will always do this. Now I understand firmly. I'm like, wait, this is what the Messiah did. Brothers, at the end of this book, there's another book like this, brothers. It's called Prince of Egypt. This one is cost $929. Somehow I'm in the process and try to get this book, but we don't really need to get it, but it's just another side, brothers. Brothers, there's so many books out there, brothers. Once we're done with this book, which we should be done by by Sunday we should be able to be finished with it. And then after that, by Sunday, I'm going to take a little time off to work in some stuff. And then we'll come back in the book of Joshua. We'll connect everything in there with the book of Joshua. It's a very beautiful story, a very beautiful book. Sorry, I go all the way up in there. I didn't read things in there, but some people like when I read, some people like when I just tell the story, and then things like that. It depends, man. Yeah. So Moses witnesses the whole thing, brothers. He spent 35 days. He didn't complete it. So you have to complete 45 days. You have to accept the throne. Now, then again, for those of you who read the book of Joshua, you probably have an idea of what happened to Moses. Okay. Now you understand, brothers, that the Most High allow certain people to put their hands on certain technology, on certain magic, on certain alchemy, and those people think they are God. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's what happened to your dream, brother. Some of your dream, now you start to understand certain things that those people, they can do, but they are not God. They can do little stuff, but and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Thank you for everybody that listened for the story in the beginning, brothers. The next story, brothers, the story is getting sadder and sadder and sadder, and then he get happier and happier. Brothers, you will what it's just you cannot question the Most High, man. The Most High do things, brothers. He put every single person in this book, from the beginning of this book to all the way back to all the letters they're sending to each other, brothers. The Most High have planned for them, all of them. Even the scumbag that was selling images that opened his mouth and say he'll never get there. That was the Most High plan. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. So many things, brothers. So many things. Hey, then again, brothers, I'm not saying, listen, brothers and sisters, I am not saying all those things happen 100%, brothers. Study to show thyself approved. The Most High like that. He like when his children study this book, the other book, any other book. You cannot just stay in the study in the book of Exodus and then that's it, brothers. The book of Exodus don't tell those stories, brothers. What we read in there, those are behind the scene things that was happening. Brothers, you cannot just jump to YAHAWAH and then say, oh, this YAHAWAH, this, that, without knowing what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened in the end, what will happen in the end. People think they can just go ahead and swag at YAHAWAH, call it Jesus Christ. If you accept the blood and then you believe in him, you save. Oh, really? You think like Moses and all those, our ancestors will go to all over those things so you can just say, I believe? Whoever so believe in his name. You think that's how it works? It doesn't work like that. Once you start, brothers, this book made a very good example of quote unquote YAHAWAH and the end of it. You want to understand, like, oh my God damn, you people destroy our knowledge, man. You'll understand this. You're at the end of the book, you're like, wow. So that's what that was. Because everything that happened, Moses explaining them. You will understand that. Remember, now the prince of Uz, Job, was there. Okay, Job taught Moses and he taught Sesostris about the one true God. He was the descendant of Melchizedek. So, in fact, Melchizedek was there. Okay, so brothers, that's what's going on. That's what happened. And all those things, brothers, they all study. We are studying things. We got all the more books. Like we said, brothers, sisters, this is me just shooting Hesh out there. If when we're done with this book, and if the Most High sent us to the book of Joshua, we finish it, we have enough, well, not enough, we have somewhat some knowledge to make, I don't know, a video game, a movie, a cartoon, a TV show. No matter how bad that thing look, brothers, we have a little bit of knowledge. We can make something for the Most High, man. We can make some movie with it. I told you I used to be a movie director, mediocre as a rapper, but my movies are as bad as my rap music. Yeah, a TV series, brothers. Each of those letters can be a season. Each of those letters can be a season. 52 letters, you got 52 season. Not an episode, a letter, a season. Each letter could be a season. That's how deep this thing is. Yeah, they won't give sometimes they won't give notification, brothers. Yeah, when we finish, brothers, we will draw something, we will tell some stories, we will do this because I'm watching the movie the 10 Commandments. They butchered this book, man. They butchered this book. So we can tell some story. I was thinking making a story about young Abraham, Abram, make a story when he was looking for YAHAWAH and stuff, when the giants were, around and stuff. And I'm thinking like, man, let me make a movie about old man Enoch, but we don't have the budget to make a movie showing Atlantis, man, like the true glory, man, of Atlantis when Enoch was there, and certain other books that I'm reading, very, very, very good book. I'm like, yo, let's make, brothers, if we have to make a movie, we cannot make a scumbag movie about another passion of the Christ and tell the same scumbag story. 9 o'clock. All right. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Oh, good Lord. Oh, boy, I've been wearing that thing for hours. Oh, boy, that hurt. All right. All right, brothers. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, we are hereby sanctify this fast. We are calling upon Abedel as a witness to come and sanctify this fast. May the Messiah look upon this fast with respect. May he has respect upon this fast and deliver us out of this calamity. All glory and praises go to the Most High. We are going to blow this and have glory going to the Father. Boy, I lost practice. All right. The fast is sanctified. Thank you again. Once again, thank you for the beloved sister that sent us this instead of blowing that little stuff. We sanctify the fast, brothers. Again, if you're on the state of California on the West Coast, the fast still going on for you. Please don't break it. Don't break it. Wait for the stuff. It's 9 o'clock, brothers. Again, oh yeah, like I was saying, no, I don't use the mouthpiece. We don't have a mouthpiece. That's how it is. You have to practice every time. So, thank you, brother Gotcha. And remember, for the $5 challenge, brothers, you have to put $45 for this coming Friday. And this coming Saturday, you're going to put $45 in there, brothers. For those of you on the $5 challenge, that would be $225. Thank you, brother Gatrell, for keeping track. And tomorrow is the 30th. Tomorrow is the 30th. We are going to say the prayer of Azariah. If you don't know the prayer, the link is in the description. Is that what that is? The link is in the. Oh, I thought I said the description is in the link, right? No, the link is in the description. You may have $225 more or less. Oh no, you cannot have less. You have to get more. If you have 500 or 5,000, that's good. So tomorrow we say the prayer of Azariah, and then May the 1st we will say the prayer of Manasseh. Okay, brothers. Okay. Saturday, brothers, we will put the $45 for those of you who are participate with this. And then once this we have the that is good, beloved sister. Find $100 doing spring cleaning. That is good. Once we have the challenge done next year, we're probably going to make a movie for the most. Well, not make a movie for the most high. We're going to make a movie enterprise, our own quote unquote, so to speak, our own Hollywood. And like I said, oh, we just purchased this freaking island. And not even purchased, brothers. You know, we get the money. If we get the money, brothers, if we get that $2 million, I know people, we can just go over there and then we say, Mr. President, how would you like to get into this boat? And then we will talk in the middle of the sea because of the serenity, the quietness. Get on this boat and then we will talk. And then we'll tell us in the name of the Most High, hey man, you guys take the island, just develop it. Okay. But we need to show the proof that we can do this. We need to show the money. Show me the money. You know, so if we can get that, what I was thinking, brothers, we can build the media empire first, and then once we start making movies, people we're pushing the name of the Most High. People are saying, hey, there's a group of Hebrew Israelites making a movie, and then it will go around. The name of the Most High is capturing. Then we can get the island, but we don't know. We might get this money. I might even do something personal with it, or you can do something personal with yours. We don't really know, brothers. We leave everything in the hand of the Most High. A year from now, brothers, we don't know what's going to happen. We're going to know what's going to. Or we can do both, brothers. We can get the island and get the movie thing, brothers. The movie thing, to start to get the equipment, brothers, we don't need that much. $10,000. $10,000 minus 2,065,000. That's like $2 million. You still got $2 million left plus $57,000. You know, the movie, if we can spend to get an empire and solid empire, something good for the Most High with our own location, brothers, we can take 100. Yasharala production or Yasharel production. We can take $100,000, brothers. Okay, let's say if we are serious about this, we take $500,000, 500,000, which is nothing for the nation. We can come up with that at the end of the year. We buy a giant property, okay? And then we make our own stuff over there, and then we make our own. We buy our own equipment, and then we bought the writers, we bought the directors. Every single month, brothers, we come up. We come up with. We come up with a movie, and some people over there are playwright. You make a documentary every single month. We make 1 or 2 movies, whether it's me making not making it, whether me directing it, some brother out there working it, beloved brother Sabah filming it and stuff. We're making things for the people, pushing the name of the Most High. How do you know the entire world know about white Jesus? White Jesus through their movies and TV and images. The beast say, I will make them worship the images. You know, or in the book of Revelation, through the media, through the Hollywood's movie, they sent all around the world. We can do that too. The Most High has his hand on it, and then we can have our actors and stuff. A certain story, like I was. Okay, we have a call, brothers. We have a call from the beloved brother Zephaniah. Let's hear the brother probably. Hello.
Shalom, brother.
Brother, you live. You want to talk with the family?
Yeah, I have something to share with the family, brother. Here it is.
All right, we hear you very far, and also there's a feedback. I believe the brother is blowing the shofar. He's blowing the shofar. It's low, though. We can hear it.
When you are blowing the shofar, brother, put your lips together as if you're about to whistle.
Yeah, no, I know, brother. It's just like I've been doing it for a while, you know. But it is say you have to put it in the right corner of your
No,
mouth,
you're doing good.
and stuff. But we hear you low, brothers. We hear you very low.
You're doing good, brother.
Yeah,
Just
I'm not quite sure if it's my phone, but
okay. For the nation, I wanted to say this. For the nation, brother, I wanted to say this. A lot of churches, a lot of preachers and pastors, they always they always say that, you know, if you if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that YAHAWAH is raised, then you shall be saved. But that's not the truth, because the scriptures say, he that endures till the end, the same shall be saved. We have to endure. We have to endure this captivity. We have to go through this captivity with the faith and with the strength and the assurance that the Most High God has given us. There's a lot of things that are happening on earth right now. And we have to stand fast on the word and know that the Most High God is more than able to deliver us. You can't let no man tell you in the church that you just say it out your mouth, you won't be saved. That's a lie. That is an absolute lie. You have to stand fast until the end. That's why the word again, I say, he that endureth till the end. He that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved. We're not saved until the day of Yeshua.
all right, thank you so much, brother. I'm not quite sure if you hear me well. Sometimes the phone is stuff. Yeah, brothers, we have to endure to the end. But a lot of people say, "Hey, man, I received the lamb and this and that. They save." It doesn't work like that. See, now they are giving the illusion that everything is back, the clubs are open and stuff like that. And again, a lot of our people are going to go back to the church. A lot of our people are going to go back to the club and do all other stuff and things like that.
That's right.
You have to endure, brothers. And what we are doing here is, brothers, enduring is studying, listening, researching, praying. You know,
That's right,
enduring. You
brother.
know, if we don't do this, brothers, but if we just say, okay, well, all the stuff that I was expecting didn't happen, that means it doesn't happen. This is remember, this isn't your plan. This
All
isn't your
praises,
time.
all praises.
Everything is in the hand of the Most High. We need to
That's right.
cling in and hold on to him, and then he will do his job, because he is not a
That's
man
right.
to lie, and he will fulfill his oath that he made with our forefather Abraham.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
That's right.
brothers. Do you have anything
And
else you
that's
want
when,
the nation to know?
yeah, and that's when, brother, we shall enjoy the fruits of our labor. We shall enjoy the benefits and the blessings of standing fast and enduring this captivity until Yahushua comes. And again, I say for the nation, we have to endure. There's been a lot of trouble. There's been a lot of stuff. We're the most resilient people in this land, in this earth. And the Most High God give us strength beyond our measure, beyond anyone's ability to comprehend. All praises, and we shall enjoy, brother, at the end.
Thank you. All right. Shalom, brothers.
Shalom, nation.
All right. Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters. This is good. All right. It's already time for me to go ahead and then get this thing done. I thought the phone wasn't silent. Okay. All right, brothers. By the power of the Most High vested in me, and he can take it anytime he felt like, I'm leaving all of you in peace. Be at peace, brothers and sisters. Tomorrow we will pray. We will say the prayer of Azariah or Azariah. Give me a second. Yes, my apology. Yes, brothers. So tomorrow we'll say the prayer of Azariah and the nation. If the sun is down, the fast is done, you can go eat. I'm about to eat something. And then if you're in California on the West Coast, keep it up until the sun go down and give the Most High all glory and all praises. I will see you tomorrow, brothers and sisters. we will finish this book. Okay, shalom. May the king reign forever.